I'm sat in one of my serviced accommodation properties right now. It's a 3-bed townhouse and it's generating around £3,000 to £3,500 total income every month. And I don't own it. It's crazy. I don't own it, but I pay the landlord £800 per month guaranteed rent. I pay the bills. I then manage the property, put it on Airbnb, booking.com, and connect with my direct corporate clients. And it's generating me as much as £2,000 net profit every single month. And I've done over 60 of these, all right? So if that sounds good, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly what serviced accommodation is, how you can control these properties, how you can systemize them to maximize the cash flow. And if you want to build a property empire, then this could be the strategy for you. I'm Simon, rent-to-rent specialist and mentor, and over the past 5 years, I've built a 7-figure revenue rent-to-rent business, all through property that I don't own. And then what I've done is I've then used that cash flow to buy properties I do own for long-term legacy wealth. And I started this channel because I couldn't believe that this was possible. And now I've done it, I want to showcase that. I want to give back and help as many of you as possible because I'm just a normal guy from Derby. Okay, I had no experience of property, and if I can do it, you can do it too. So if that sounds good, hit the subscribe button, comment below, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff, and join me for weekly content. There's over 300 videos on this channel right now, and we are the biggest rent-to-rent strategy in the world. Disagree? Comment below. Agree? Comment below. So what is serviced accommodation? Well, serviced accommodation, or SA as it's commonly known, is where you get a property and you rent it out on a nightly basis on Airbnb and booking.com instead of just on a long-term tenancy agreement to a family or on a room-by-room basis. Now, what's powerful about this is because you offer it fully serviced with bedding and amenities and TV and sofa and internet and all the bills, people can book in, you can provide a really high quality accommodation solution, and as a result, they are willing to pay a premium. And that premium means that you can make some massive cash flow in SA, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. So you've already got some innovation there because, as you know, Airbnb and that is massively popular international. But now we've gone a step further because traditionally, if you wanted to get into property investment, you would buy the property, right? Buy to let or buy to SA or buy to HMO. But in rent to rent, you don't buy the property. I know what you're thinking. You're like, what? What do you mean you don't buy the property? What you do is you essentially offer to guarantee a landlord's rent for 5 years. So you borrow their property, you lease their property for 5 years, paying them the single let value, and then you then convert into an SA and charge a premium nightly value. So let's break that down. Let's say, for example, this property I'm in now, I guarantee the landlord £800 per month. 3-bed, beautiful townhouse, great location. So I pay the landlord 800. I then might pay the bills, which could be 600, which means I'm £1,400 in. But if then I can rent this property out for £100 per night, I'm generating £3,000. You know, so £100 a night times 30 nights is £3,000. Deduct the 1,400 and bang, there's my £1,600 cash flow that I can keep. I can help myself to that every single month. Now, we don't sell dreams on this channel. So full disclaimer, you're not always gonna be full 30 nights. So sometimes it might be less, but as you can see, even if I'm only full 14 nights, I cover my costs. So 14 times 100, £1,400. Remember, the landlord's rent is 800, the bills are 600. So that means everything above 14 nights occupancy per month is profit. That's cash flow. And I've done loads of these, and I've helped people like you do these as well, all around the country, replacing your income and generating massive cash flow. So how much did I invest in this property? Well, not a huge amount, because what happened was the landlord purchased this property and it was a new build in pretty good condition. They funded the painting and decorating, all right? I furnished it, probably spent, I don't know, two and a half grand on average, which means that I'm breaking even within a couple months. And then for the rest of the 4 years and 10 months, it's just all cash flow. But how on earth do you persuade somebody to just let you have the property and you make all the money, right? Well, first things first, you're not making all the money. This landlord has no mortgage, so they're making £800 a month, which is nice for them. That's pretty much what they would get if they managed to rent this property out to a family. So it's a win for them, because they're getting guaranteed rent for 5 years. They've got no mortgage. It saves them having to change tenants and all that, and they don't do anything, all right? It's a win for them. But not only that, it's also, of course, a win for me, because I now can flip this property into an SA, as discussed, and get that premium. But essentially, what you must do is you must demonstrate that you can add value to the landlord and that you can solve their solution. So another thing about this landlord is that they live miles away, they're retired, and for them, this is a return on their investment. So instead of them paying, £800 for their current mortgage or for their current living costs and chipping away at their lump sum, they can chuck their lump sum in here that then produces cash flow. So how do you persuade somebody to let you have their property for 5 years? Well, you need to find the right landlord. So this particular landlord is retired, they live hours away, and they had a pension pot where they was chipping away at it every month. So rather than them sort of chip away at that, they've invested in this property, and now I pay them £800 a month. This property will go up in value over the next 10 years, and when they're ready, they can sell it to release that big whole pension pot, then for them to set up for, for later life. So that's somebody that rent to rent works for. If I was an investor that had just spent loads of money on this property and wanted to create massive cash flow, clearly I wouldn't want to settle for £800. I'd want to do the work myself to get that higher income, but that's not going to be everybody. Now, one of the biggest hurdles or the biggest things that stop people getting into SA is the perceived amount of management. You've got bedding, linen, you've got noisy guests, you've got naughty guests, you've got all the check-in and the automation, you've got to approve people, what happens if people party, you've got all these different complexities that scares a lot of you off. But that's when you need to make sure that you get educated, that you stack systems, that you've got the automation. So literally, I manage this property from my phone. I've got a team of cleaners, maintenance people, guest liaison people. So I do very, very little. And as I say, I've done over 60 of these personally and hundreds to help other people. So if that sounds good, comment below. Just put SA in the comments if you like the idea of this. I would love to touch base, help connect. There's over 300 videos right here on this channel for you to start learning how to do this stuff. There's the podcast, over 100 episodes. So check out simonsmithonline.com to find out more. Make sure you subscribe, get yourself involved. All right, this is creative property strategies, absolutely amazing and can completely transform your life if you do it right. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.